Hi everyone, it's Gaylin. I'm back again representing Unity Stamp Company. I'm one of their design team members. Today I'm sharing a way to use vellum in card making. I am accenting a card with torn vellum and also with gold heat embossing. I'm using Unity Stamp Company's kit called Shimmer Shine. It's the July 2019 Sentiment Kit by Gracieli Design. I'm also using Vellum by Paper Tray Ink. It's actually called Vellum cardstock. I'm also using Nina Solar White 110-pound cover for cardstock. I'm using Versamark ink, which is a clear watermark ink. And I'm using Ranger embossing powder in fine gold. I'm using an EK Success powder tool to help with stray embossing powder. I'm using various Copic markers, the Misty stamping tool, and for the stamping. So I am adding a little bit of powder to the vellum because I'm going to be heat embossing, and this prevents stray embossing powder. It comes off the paper easily. I'm stamping with one of the pretty florals in this kit. This kit is great for summer, spring, or autumn celebrations or any occasion, using a general sentiment that would go for any time of the year. I'm stamping with the clear embossing watermark ink, which is called Versamark, and then I add the gold embossing powder to it, and I take off any excess with either my fingers or a very narrow paintbrush, and you can just dab off any excess powder that might stick in places where you wouldn't want it to stick. And then you heat emboss it with a heat tool. Very careful using a heat tool. You could see that it melts the powder and it becomes a pretty gold color in this case. Now I'm adding a third flower with the heat embossing on vellum and doing the same, taking any excess off and heat embossing it with a heat tool. Now for the sentiment, I am stamping with the Misty using Simon Says Stamp black ink. And I'm doing that directly onto the card base. I'm going to use a side fold card for this. I'm adding color to the opposite side of where the heat embossing is. So the shiny side, I don't want to color, at least with Copic markers anyway, because alcohol markers could get damaged by the heat embossing. So I color on the opposite side of where I emboss. And on the embossed side, it will show much lighter than the back side, but that's okay. I'm just adding some fall colors because it is getting to the autumn season currently, so making these more like sunflowers. Now, for accents, I am just tearing the vellum. I'm lifting it up and then backwards and up and backwards just to get, I want to be able to see where it's torn. I want to see the edges. And I just trim around each of the flowers and just sort of lay it out onto the card where I might want it to be. I'm going to overlap the vellum. I'm going to take a light orange and just sort of ink up the edges with an ink pad. It makes a very pretty trim. It accents the torn edges of the vellum. It makes it real pretty. Now, when this is layered, it actually it's not adhered down to the paper exactly, so it floats a little bit. It looks a lot softer in person when these flower vellum pieces are layered together. I wanted more of a topper look, so I'm just going to adhere them down lightly so that the edges still move and they look wispy looking in person. Then the sentiment is at the bottom. And I use just clear, flat, double-sided tape for this process. And I just place the leaf in there, just in the mix of all the vellum. I also added a little bit of adhesive gems to this at the end, but I like how it turned out. Thanks for watching. I hope you like and follow me. Thanks a lot and have a good day.